What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Jon Jones takes shots at Tom Aspinall. Although Jon Jones has made it clear that he'll be fighting Stipe Miocic when he returns to the octagon, he has continued to pour fuel on the fire regarding a fight with Tom Aspinall. After previously engaging fans and arguing against Aspinall's case for a fight with him in comparison to Stipe Miocic, Jones took to social media this week to stir the pot once more. He first posted Aspinall's 2022 fight with Curtis Blaydes in its entirety, without any sort of a caption, catching the attention of the MMA community with the cryptic post. When a member of the MMA community responded, writing, "Posting someone's injury doesn't make you cool, Johnny Boner," Jones then responded, writing, "It's not about the injury, it's about your boy getting touched up. Even the moment his knee popped, he was getting punched in the face. I'm just calling what I see. The fans get so impressed with the new guy. I look at what was actually happening. I look at the tactics. I don't hop on the train and get hyped like everyone else. Stay around for a while. Start breaking records. That's when you get my full attention. I've seen this story too many times." Jones then followed it up with one more post, writing, "I'm telling you guys, film study is one of my great strengths. If Curtis wants by knockout or ground and pound, I would not be surprised. Should Aspinall emerge victorious from his upcoming UFC 304 fight with Curtis Blaydes, it'll be interesting to see if Jones decides to stick around for one more fight in the event he retains his title against Stipe Miocic." Next up, let's take a look at Robert Whittaker versus Ikram Aliskerov, set for UFC Saudi Arabia. While the MMA community has been focused on updates surrounding the UFC 303 card, news surfaced on Thursday that Khamzat Chimaev was out of his scheduled main event bout against Robert Whittaker next weekend. With the UFC Fight Night Saudi Arabia event right around the corner, Chimaev's withdrawal was a massive blow to the card. However, it didn't take long for Dana White to announce Ikram Aliskerov as a short notice replacement for Chimaev.
What's up, everybody? So, a little news here. Unfortunately, Khamzat Chimaev is out of the fight next weekend in Saudi Arabia, violently, and I mean violently ill. So, he's going back home, and hopefully he gets well soon. The replacement, Ikram Aliskerov. Who is Ikram Aliskerov? This guy is 15-1. His only loss in his 16-fight pro career is to Khamzat Chimaev. So this dude is a legit contender in only his third UFC fight. If he gets a knockout against Robert Whittaker, he'll go into a tie for the longest active UFC knockout streak. He's got 7 first-round finishes, 6 wins by knockout, 5 by submission. This guy has finished 11 of 15 wins, 73% finish rate. He's on a 7-fight win streak. We offered everybody in the division this fight. Nobody would take it except for Robert Whittaker. The main event is bad. This should be a great fight. And Khamzat, get well soon, my friend.
As White revealed, Chimaev is incredibly sick. Following reports that Ikram Aliskerov would be stepping in on short notice, a photo emerged of Chimaev in a hospital bed. Paulo Costa was quick to react to the news of Chimaev's withdrawal on social media, writing in a pair of posts, "Ikram, haha, so put me to title shot instead." Costa then followed it up with a video in which he reacted to the fight.
What? Who is this? Oh, this doesn't look good. Sorry, doesn't look good. I'm a company man, I'm supporting. I will support, all the time, but sometimes you just need to cover. I understand, but I know much better guy to bring, action, try finish fights, knockout artist. Yeah, definitely doesn't look good, but God bless you.
Of course, with Costa fresh off a loss to Sean Strickland, it's unlikely that the UFC grants his wish for a title shot. Currently, the expectation is that Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya will compete at UFC 305 in Perth, with Sean Strickland sitting as the #1 contender, leaving Costa in need of wins to reinsert himself back into the title picture. Last night, Khamzat's manager spoke on the situation. The persistent illness that Khamzat has been battling for major parts of training camp could not be cured in time. He has been in and out of hospitals several times. The condition has been kept within the team, since everyone has been absolutely committed to finding a solution. Although all available options have been thoroughly considered, it has now come to a point where the team has mutually agreed that it is not possible to carry on like this. Stepping into the cage not properly prepared against such a formidable opponent as Robert is unfortunately impossible. Next, let's take a look at UFC fight updates. Ahead of this weekend's UFC Fight Night, Perez vs. Tyra card at the Apex, let's look at today's UFC fight updates, starting with a report from Ariel Helwani regarding the UFC 303 co-main event. Amid concern for the McGregor-Chandler fight, Helwani informed fans that the promotion is working behind the scenes to finalize a new co-main event bout as well, writing, "In addition to working on a new main for 303, I'm told UFC is also looking at a new co-main for that card. The current co-main, Hill vs. Olberg, might need a replacement now too, and if so, it could get bumped down. One new fight that has been discussed, not for the main, is Brian Ortega and Diego Lopez." This turned out to be true, with Dana White announcing on his social media that Conor McGregor vs. Michael Chandler is officially off due to injury, and Alex Pereira vs. Yuri Prohaska will replace the main event fight bout. Dana also announced that the fight between Jamal Hill and Carlos Olberg is also off due to injury, and Brian Ortega vs. Diego Lopez will replace the co-main event. Ortega is fresh off a big win over Yair Rodriguez back in February, while on the flip side, Lopez is fresh off a UFC 300 win back in April. Shifting gears and looking ahead at the UFC's calendar, a bout between Marcin Tybura and Sergey Spivak has been added to the UFC Vegas 95 card on August 10th. The bout will see Tybura look to build on a March win over Tai Tuivasa, while Spivak will be looking to bounce back from a September loss to Cyril Gane. Later that month, Denis Buzukja and Danny Silva will compete in a featherweight bout at an unnamed UFC event scheduled for August 24th. The bout will see Buzukja look to build on a March win over Connor Matthews, which was his first with the promotion, while Silva will be looking to build on a victory in his debut in March after Dana White's Contender Series victory in September. Next, let's take a look at Dricus du Plessis reacts to Belal Muhammad comments. Given that Belal Muhammad trains with Islam Makhachev, the streaking contender has no plans of defending his title against Islam Makhachev in the event that he defeats Leon Edwards in Manchester this summer. Instead, during a recent interview with MMA Fighting, Muhammad suggested that Makhachev make the jump up to 185 to fight Dricus du Plessis.
Fight.
Yeah, I would never fight him 100%, but honestly, he could go up to 185 and beat du Plessis right now. I think he's that good, really. I think he could go up there and be that two-division champ, skip over 170 for a little bit, let me beat a couple of these younger guys, and then I'll go up to 185, bro. He has plenty of time, man. He's dominating these fights. He's winning easily. You know, I think he's going to continue on that path of just being dominant champion, so he's got plenty of years left. Like he tweeted out or said something about it recently in an interview saying, like, yeah, I'm still hungry, I'm still here. So I think he got a long time to go.
In a comment on Instagram, DDP reacted to the idea, writing, "Oh, now I see why the world thinks Belal's a loser. Last fan checking out. While Muhammad has no intentions of fighting Makhachev, the lightweight champ could decide to put legacy over friendship and call for a fight anyway in pursuit of champ status, depending on how things play out in the welterweight division this summer." Next, let's take a look at Kamaru Usman responds to turning down Shavkat Rakhmonov fight. Recent footage from the UFC docu-series on Roku showed Khabib Nurmagomedov speaking with Dana White and Ali Abdelaziz about Kamaru Usman's next fight, suggesting that the former champ compete against Shavkat Rakhmonov. While some have suggested that Usman and his manager turned down a fight with Rakhmonov, considering a bout never came to fruition, Usman fired back on a recent episode of his Pound for Pound podcast with Henry Cejudo, pointing out that the clip was over a year old, and shortly after it was filmed, he moved up to middleweight to fight Khamzat Chimaev on short notice.
Right? They brought Khabib in the war room and they're trying to make the fight. Look at the board of the war room. Look at who's the champions. Look at the places that the guys are at. That'll tell you when this is out, when this was done. Everyone's acting like this clip is something that was done last week. They filmed this and then they posted it out. Guys, this was done a year ago.
Oh, shit.
And after that, guess what? I stepped in there on 9 days' notice and fought possibly the most dangerous guy in the UFC at that time, Khamzat Chimaev. So what you saying? There's nothing to say. You know, when I do get back into the octagon, I don't give a flying frick who it is. If it's Cousin John, if it's this guy, if it's that guy, if it's Shavkat, if it's JDM, if it's this guy, if it's Leon Edwards, or if it's Belal, I don't care who it is. When I'm ready to step back into the octagon and I want to fight somebody, I don't give a. I'll fight who I need to fight.
So far, there's been no word on when Usman will return to the octagon. However, from the sounds of things, the former champ is willing to throw down with anyone at 170. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at Fighting Commissioner reveals UFC fighter payouts. Oftentimes, fighter payouts are not disclosed after events. However, the Kentucky Commission released the fighter payouts from this past weekend's UFC Fight Night Louisville card. Dominic Reyes was the highest paid fighter on the card, with a disclosed purse of $250,000. while Nasruddin Imavov took home $126,000 for his main event win over Jared Cannonier, who made a reported $165,000. Up-and-coming prospect Raul Rosas Jr. reportedly made $80,000 for his win over Ricky Tercios, who made just $28,000 for the fight. Other notable names include two-time Ultimate Fighter winner Brad Katona, who made $84,000 for his decision win over Jesse Butler, and Montana De La Rosa, who made $120,000 for her split decision victory over Andrea Lee. In addition, Puna Soriano made a reported $100,000 for his win over Miguel Baeza, while Dustin Jacoby reportedly made $100,000 for his previously mentioned loss to Dominic Reyes. On top of their disclosed purses, Raul Rosas Jr., Bruno Ferreira, Zach Reese, and Carlos Prates all pocketed an additional $50,000 for performance of the night bonuses. MMA community goes off on Dana White for announcement. There's been a tremendous amount of uncertainty surrounding the UFC 303 headliner between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler this week, with Ariel Helwani reporting early Thursday that the UFC is working behind the scenes to see whether a fighter can step in on short notice or replace the main event entirely. The MMA community has continued to anxiously await for updates. Last night, Dana White shocked the MMA community by posting this.
All right, guys, here I am again. Conor McGregor is out of 303 versus Michael Chandler with an injury. The new main event is Alex Pereira, former not only UFC middleweight champion, he's also the first and only fighter to win both middleweight and light heavyweight titles in UFC history. He also did it in the shortest amount of time. He did it in 736 days and 7 fights. He finished 7 of 9 wins by knockout, which is a 78% finish rate, and won 10 of his last 11 fights, and he is facing former UFC light heavyweight champion Yuri Prohaska, who has an unbelievable 23 first-round wins. He has 25 by knockout, 3 by submission. That is a 97% finish rate.
This really confused the community because Michael Chandler posted this 4 hours before Dana White's announcement, writing, MMA fact of the day, amount of times these fighters have pulled out of fights in their entire careers. The Notorious MMA, 0. Michael Chandler, 0. In addition, McGregor took to Facebook on Thursday posting a shamrock emoji while sharing a comment from Michael Bisping that read, McGregor looks sharp and ready for UFC 303. The community wasn't happy with Dana White's announcement. Here's what they had to say. Dustin Poirier tweeted, #NothingBurger, referring to Conor McGregor's tweet earlier this week. Another fan tweeted, this is the worst news ever, Dana. I can't believe this. While tweeting a picture of paying $6,654 for UFC 303 tickets. Wow. Terrible business for the fans, uncle. Continuing to hype up a fight you knew was off just so fans would continue to buy tickets and pay-per-views, knowing full well they wouldn't see McGregor versus Chandler is the ultimate slap in the face to your loyal customers. You owe me big money, dude. I paid big bucks to see Conor. Pereira is not Conor, no matter how much you try and play it up. Thanks for ruining my night. Man, I knew this was too good to be true. I could have told you that he wouldn't fight 2 months ago, Dana White. You know it, everyone else knows it. He just didn't take this seriously. He isn't injured, he just can't be ready on time since he hasn't been training properly. Conor McGregor, pathetic, man. Ariel Helwani reacted to the situation.
Conor injury is not severe. Not severe. I think he can be back in 2 months. I'm not going to say what it is because I've been asked not to say, and you have to respect that. What else is going on in the Twitter sphere? It's man. I think we were all looking forward to a Conor McGregor fight. It's been too long.